The monsoon rain hammered Mumbai. Relentless, oppressive. The humid air, thick with the stench of exhaust fumes and fear, clung to the city like a shroud. Two friends, Akash and Riya, hurried through the desolate streets. Returning from a late movie, they yearned for the safety of their homes. This shortcut seemed like a bad idea, Riya mumbled, her voice trembling. Akash, putting on a brave face, just gripped her hand tighter. Almost there, he reassured, his voice barely a whisper above the howling wind. As they walked, the ornate, colonial-era buildings loomed over them, their grandeur lost in the darkness. Shadows danced in the flickering light of a lone street lamp, twisting familiar shapes into menacing figures. Riya felt a shiver crawl down her spine. "Akash, did you hear that?" she whispered, her eyes wide with fear. He listened intently. A soft, mournful cry seemed to echo around them, lost in the next gust of wind. "It's just the wind, Riya," Akash said, his voice strained. But his words offered little comfort. They both knew Mumbai had its secrets, stories whispered through generations, stories of vengeful spirits and places best left undisturbed. They picked up their pace, their footsteps echoing on the wet pavement. The mournful cry returned, closer this time, a wail that sent chills down their spines. Fear propelled them forward. They turned a corner, their breath catching in their throats. Before them stood an old, dilapidated building. Its windows were dark, empty sockets staring back at them. "This is the place, Akash," Riya whispered, her voice barely audible above the storm. "This is where I heard the stories." He looked at her, his eyes filled with concern. But before he could respond, the building's rusted gate creaked open as if beckoning them inside. A cold gust of wind blew past them, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and something else. Something sickly sweet. From the shadows within the building, a figure emerged. A woman. Her long black hair cascaded down her back, and she wore a white sari that billowed around her like smoke. Riya gasped, clutching Akash's arm. "Who are you?" Akash called out, his voice surprisingly steady. The woman turned. Her face, pale and gaunt, was etched with a profound sadness. Her eyes, pools of endless black, fixed on them. "This is my home," she whispered, her voice a mournful whisper. "Leave and never return." They stood frozen, caught in the grip of terror and fascination. The woman in white began to glide towards them, her feet not seeming to touch the ground. "We didn't mean any disrespect," Akash stammered, taking a step back. "We were just passing by." The woman stopped, her sorrowful gaze unwavering. "This place holds only pain and sorrow," she said, her voice filled with longing. "Turn back while you still can." Her words hung in the air, a chilling warning. Then, as quickly as she appeared, the woman vanished. The only sound was the relentless rain and their own ragged breaths. Akash, his heart pounding in his chest, grabbed Riya's hand. "Come on," he urged, his voice tight with urgency. "We need to get out of here." They didn't need to be told twice. They ran through the rain-soaked streets, the image of the woman in white sari seared into their minds. The rain seemed to follow them, cold and relentless, a constant reminder of the horror they had witnessed. Finally, as they stumbled onto a main road, bathed in the warm glow of streetlights, the oppressive atmosphere seemed to lift. Safe within the bustling crowds, Akash and Riya swore never to speak of that night again. But the memory lingered, a chilling reminder that even in the heart of a bustling city, some secrets refuse to stay buried. And sometimes the line between the living and the dead blurs in the shadows of the city.